Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you guys are new to the channel, be sure to click that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. I would like to give a special thanks to Homestead Hyundai for giving me time with the 2022 Hyundai Tucson Inline. If you're in the market for a Hyundai, you can come check out Homestead Hyundai and they will get you into a new or pre-owned vehicle. But I have a question for today's video. Is the inline version worth getting? You guys have to stay to the end of the video to find out if I actually think the inline version is worth getting. But let's talk about pricing here for the Hyundai Tucson Inline. Starting price is at $30,900, including destination. This one took us for $32,460. But let's talk about the front styling of the Hyundai Tucson Inline. Let's talk about the exterior styling here of the Hyundai Tucson. As you guys can see, this vehicle looks more aggressive compared to any other Tucson in the segment. Looking at these taillights here, they're going to be a multi-reflector LED headlight with an automatic low and high beam, which is an LED. This area right here is going to be functional to put an air curtain over the brakes and wheels. That's an LED turn signal here. Also with the LED daytime run light, which is integrated into the actual grille with this dark chrome finish to the grille. There's the Hyundai emblem front and center. It's missing a front-facing camera. Also, it's missing front parking sensors, which I'm surprised to see. But stepping away from the Hyundai Tucson, as you guys can see, looking at the side profile, this vehicle did get bigger for this current generation. This has a 108.5-inch wheelbase with an overall length of 182.3. So like I mentioned, this vehicle did grow for this current generation. But looking at these tires and wheels here, I think this rim design is a really good selling feature for me. It looks really good, especially with the multi-spoke design. These are a 235/55 Michelin tire. They're wrapped in this 19-inch rim design. I wish Hyundai would have painted the brake caliper red. Some people might do aftermarket. I think it make the vehicle look even better, especially with this gray exterior color. There's the inline badge here on the side fender. You also get the inline badge in the actual grille as well. As you guys can see, this black painted mirror cap here, also with this LED side marker. And my model is missing that large panoramic sunroof. You do get these aerodynamic roof rails, and the trim around the window wells is going to be blacked out to give it more of a sporty look. And as you guys can see from this angle here, very sharp body lines here on the actual door panels and whatnot. But making our way to the rear of the Hyundai Tucson, looking at these taillights here, these taillights remind me of the Mustang Mach-E. Very futuristic looking taillights here. Going to be an LED combination with an LED brake light. The turn signals and reverse lights are going to live down here. They can be an incandescent design. There's rear parking sensors. You also have these dual tip exhausts here. I'm gonna let you guys hear what that sounds like really quick. As you guys heard, it does have a nice snarl from it, but I think Hyundai kind of dropped the ball. It could have sounded a little bit more aggressive. There's the Tucson badge here, and unfortunately there's no M badge on back of the vehicle. You get it in the front and on the side fenders. But open up the cargo back here. This is a power opening tailgate. Once it opens up, it reveals 38.7 cubic feet of space. And as you guys can see, the load floor here is very low, so you can put things into this large area back here. Underneath here, Hyundai does give you a temporary spare tire instead of a fix-a-flat kit. And there's also a 12-volt back here with incandescent lighting for the cargo. Once you fold down the seat via that handle there, that expands the cargo to 80.3 cubic feet of space. So it's one of the largest in the segment because, like I mentioned, Hyundai did make the Tucson bigger for this current generation. Sitting in the interior of the Hyundai Tucson Inline, looking at this cabin here, very upscale, modern looking cabin. I do like the nice red stitching with the M badges throughout this cabin here. But looking at the current key fob, there's a lock, unlock, a panic button, a trunk release, and also a remote start mode. This key does feel nice to hold in my hands. But reaching over here to shut the door of the Hyundai Tucson, the push button start is right here on the dash. Once you fire it up, you guys can hear just a little bit of the exhaust, which has a decent snarl from it, but I wish Hyundai would have did a better job. But looking at the door panel materials here very quickly, pretty decent material with this black script here, with this cloth like material here on the actual door panel. Over here is going to be the switch gear, which is automatic up and down for windows. There's your mirror lock controls, and there is some beautiful red stitching here throughout this cabin with this dark chrome accented door handle. This area is going to be nice and padded. There's your dimmer switch, trunk release, traction control. This is a manual tilt and telescoping wheel. It does offer a decent amount of range and adjustability. I'm surprised to see there's no actual paddle shifters here for the inline model, but there's the headlight and turn signal stock. There's the wind wiper stock right there. There's the Hyundai emblem here in the airbag cover. Over here is for your driver's assistance. You can customize this large 10.25 inch display here. As you guys can see, there's no actual hood over the instrument panel here because Hyundai said the screen is very bright, and of course it's not a touch screen. You have to customize the screen here by using this button right here to show you different stuff like your driver information, your user settings, also your tire pressure, and your driver's assistance. So you can customize the screen to your liking. The leather does feel nice and high quality. There's some nice stitching here. Over here is for volume and voice controls. More red stitching here at the lower part of the steering wheel. There's the N badge here. Plenty of different areas to rest your hands, especially if you're going on a long road trip. The materials on the dashboard are going to be a soft touch ejection molded plastic. There's the air vents here. Your hazard button is there. This is an 8-inch display. You can go for a 10.25 inch display, but keep in mind you cannot get the wireless Apple CarPlay or Android Auto function. You have to go for the lower screen in order to get that feature. There's some shortcut buttons here on the side which are touch capacitive. There's a scroll wheel here for the volume and tune. Over is going to be dual climate control. There's 2 USB ports. There's a 12-volt. I do love this end shifter here. Putting the vehicle into reverse, it does reveal a backup camera. There's trajectory with distance markers, and unfortunately there's only rear parking sensors. I'm surprised that Hyundai didn't put front parking sensors as well. Kicking it down here over to the left, there's a manual mode in the transmission. Putting the vehicle back into park, nice high quality leather and stitching here. The drive mode selector, which shows you smart, sport, and normal. Look at that sport gauge here. It does change the display red, which is a really nice look. There's a hill descent control, electronic parking brake, auto hold. You can access the camera via this button here. Your automatic start stop. There's some gloss black trim around the cup holders here. Like I mentioned, showed you guys the current key fob. There's 3 level heated seats. There's no cool seats, unfortunately, or heated steering wheel function. That's why these buttons are blank here. There's some nice red stitching here. This area is going to be slightly padded. Open it up. It does reveal a decent amount of storage. There's no USB or 12-volt in there. Unfortunately, I have to connect it over here by the actual shifter. The seats in here, they're aggressively bolstered compared to the last Tucson that I sat in. There's the N badge here. Nice red piping and stitching here. They're cloth seats. They feel very durable. And above me, there's no large panoramic sunroof. Unfortunately, it's going to be incandescent lighting throughout the cabin. And the materials on the dashboard are going to be a nice material, more of that cloth material. I actually like the 3 red stripes on the actual dash there. Open up the glove compartment, it does reveal a large storage. But overall, the interior of the Hyundai Tucson is very modern, and I like the layout that Hyundai offers here with the Tucson. Getting into the back seat of the Hyundai Tucson here, open up the door. As you guys can see, the door opens at a really good angle so you can access the back seat, especially if you're trying to put your children back here or even a child seat. But looking at the space, like I mentioned, plenty of space because Hyundai did make this vehicle bigger for this current generation. Looking at the door panel material, it's going to be a hard touch plastic. There's this cloth-like material here. Also with this dark painted door handle here, there's some gloss black trim around the switch gear. Nice red stitching. This area here is going to be nice and padded. There's a cup holder here. There's a Tucson name in the actual door sill. Really nice detail there that Hyundai offers. There's this handle here so you can recline the seats and whatnot. Nice red stitching. But getting back here, as you guys can see, plenty of space to get comfortable in the Tucson. And Hyundai says you have around 41.3 inches of legroom. I have plenty of space underneath the driver's seat. This is where I have the seat to drive. There's 2 map pockets for storage. You also have rear air vents here with 2 USB ports. The floor back here is not flat, but you can fit 3 people across in comfort. And like I mentioned, you can also recline the seats to fold down. Putting this armrest down here, it does reveal 2 cup holders. And above me, it's going to be incandescent lighting. Unfortunately, there's no large panoramic sunroof here to let light into the cabin, but the back seat of the Hyundai Tucson is one of the largest in the segment. Looking underneath the hood of the Hyundai Tucson inline, I'm sad to report Hyundai did not do enough for me because this is the same base powertrain as you guys can get in a standard Tucson. This is a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder, which only makes 187 horsepower and 178 pound-feet of torque. It's paired with an 8-speed automatic transmission. Let's talk about fuel economy for this 4-cylinder. This is rated to get 26 in the city, 33 on the highway, and 29 combined. You guys can get a traditional hybrid or a plug-in option, which will basically beat the fuel economy of this base powertrain. As the inline Tucson sits here, it weighs in around 3,400 pounds, and Hyundai says you can tow 2,000 pounds properly equipped, and this does come standard with front-wheel drive. So starting off in the 2022 Hyundai Tucson, this has Hyundai's 2.5 liter 4-cylinder. This powertrain makes 187 horsepower and 178 pound-feet of torque. And unfortunately, I'm sad to report this is the same base powertrain that you guys get on a standard Tucson. So I feel like Hyundai dropped the ball when it came to the inline model here. I wish they would have offered more horsepower and more torque. They might do a full-on in version. Fingers crossed, hopefully they do that. Let's talk about the driving dynamics here. This vehicle drives very good, it's very smooth. This vehicle has gotten bigger for this current generation. The visibility out of the Tucson here is good. You also have this thick looking A-pillar here. It's pretty decent size, you can see around it. The mirrors here are really good. Unfortunately, this one does not have the blind view camera, so if you signal left or right, but it does come with blind spot monitoring, also active lane trace assist, lane departure. So all the nice driver assistant features that you guys are looking for, Hyundai does offer that. You also have the great warranty, but this vehicle drives really good. The seats in here, they're aggressively bolstered compared to a standard Tucson. The ride quality is buttery smooth. The 8-speed automatic does a really good job of downshifting. Fuel economy is rated at 26 in the city, 33 on the highway, and 29 combined. So it does get decent gas mileage, but keep in mind, Hyundai will sell you a plug-in variant of the Tucson and also a traditional hybrid. So if you guys are looking to get over 30 miles per gallon, I would recommend looking at the hybrid option, especially the plug-in variant that gets way over 40 miles per gallon. The steering feeling here is very playful. Let's put the vehicle into a sport mode here. They give you this toggle here so you can adjust the actual drive modes. And this vehicle just drives just so smooth. I like the way the Tucson drives, but it's in sport mode here. I mean, it is adequate power. It's not gonna it's not a track car or anything like that, but I feel like Hyundai, like I mentioned, did drop the ball with the inline model. I feel like they should have just upped the horsepower or even gave it a turbo option like in the Sonata inline. That vehicle makes over 290 horsepower and 311 pound-feet of torque. They should have put that same powertrain in this vehicle, but like I mentioned, hopefully they might offer an in version, hopefully for the Tucson. But the inline model is, to me, I think it's just a disappointment in a sense, because this has the same base powertrain as a standard Tucson. But this vehicle does look very sporty, and it does have that aggressive styling. So if you guys are looking for an aggressive looking Tucson, I would recommend looking at the inline model, because it does have these attractive set of wheels, more aggressive body panels and whatnot on this vehicle. But if you guys are looking for a sporty Tucson, in a sense, when it comes to design wise, the inline is a really good choice. After spending time with the 2022 Hyundai Tucson inline, the question I asked in the beginning of the video, is the inline version worth getting? And the simple answer for me is going to be no, because what's underneath the hood of this vehicle, I think Hyundai dropped the ball by not giving this vehicle more horsepower and more torque, especially with this base powertrain. But this base powertrain does make adequate power for most people. But if you guys are looking for a more sporty and aggressive looking Tucson, I think the inline version is the way to go. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this review here. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at Drive1Reviews and hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you all in the next video.